Hello, everyone, and welcome back. This is Maggie Cooper, your South Carolina real estate advocate with the brokerage LPT Realty. This is episode 2 of the South Carolina Home Journey. In episode 1, I introduced myself and explained what this series will be all about. Today, we're going to break down who does what into real estate, because the process can become a lot less overwhelming and stressful when you understand all of the roles and how they all work together. Buying or selling a home is not a one person's job. It truly takes a team effort. And before we even talk about what an agent is, a lender, or an inspector, we need to start with the most important and critical role of them all. And who do y'all think that role belongs to? It belongs to you, whether you're wearing the hat of a buyer or a seller. Buying or selling, you play a crucial role in how smooth or stressful this process becomes. As a buyer, just to mention some of your responsibilities, it includes being honest about your finances, your goals, and your timelines, providing documentation to your lender in a timely manner, communicating any changes to your income, job, or credit, showing up for inspections and walkthroughs, making informed decisions during negotiation phases, staying engaged and responsive throughout the entire process. Okay? Let's talk about some of the responsibilities as a seller. Being transparent about the condition of a home, disclosing any known issues, preparing the home for the market and for showings, allowing access for buyers, inspectors, appraisers, and or surveyors, responding to requests in a timely manner, cooperating through inspections, repairs, and closing. Real estate works best when everyone is cooperative. The process is not a tug of war, it's truly a partnership. Role number 2, the real estate agent. So let's talk about the big picture of a real estate agent. We're here to guide and advocate you through this transaction. Your agent will help you understand the process step by step, navigate contracts and deadlines, coordinate any type of communication between all parties, solve problems as they arise, and protect your interests throughout the transaction. But not all agents play the same role. Did you know? You should know you can have a buyer agent or you can have a listing agent. Let's start with what the buyer agent is. A buyer agent represents the buyer. And what we do for our buyers is we help you understand your buying power and your timeline. Tour and evaluate homes. Write and negotiate offers. Explain contracts in plain language. Track deadlines like inspections and finances. Request repairs or credit. And guide you all the way to the closing table. Their duty is to advocate for you and your interests throughout this process. And that's what we're here for. That role continuously go on and on. That's just a small snippet of what the role is. So let's talk about what a listing agent is and some of the things that we do as a listing agent to represent a seller throughout the process. We price the home correctly based on market data, prepare the home for the market, market the property professionally, manage showings and feedback, negotiate offers, coordinate closing, and help the seller net the most money with the least amount of stress. So pretty much as a listing agent, our duty is to look out for the seller's best interest. Now, a question I do get a lot is, can one agent represent both sides? Now, in the state of South Carolina, yes, they can. But an agent that represents both the buyer and the seller, it can be done, but it must be done transparently and correctly. Every buyer and seller should receive a document called the South Carolina Disclosure of Real Estate Brokerage and Relationship. What this disclosure explains is making sure that you understand the types of agencies, who the agent represents, what duties are owed, and how representation works. So you understand this form should be explained at the first meaningful contact, not later or not at closing. When one agent represents both sides, their role becomes more limited and neutral. That's why understanding representation up front is super critical. All right, let's go to the next important role in this process, and that's your lender. So, any buyer that is looking to get financing, the lender plays a major role in this transaction. They determine what you qualify for when it comes to your financing, helping you select the right loan product, collecting financial documents, assisting you with down payment assistance, ordering the appraisal, working through underwriting, and issue final approval to close. Now, there's two different type of lenders. You can work with a loan originator and a mortgage broker. A loan originator works directly for a bank or mortgage company, and it offers that company's specific loan products. A mortgage broker works with multiple lenders and shops for options that's best for you and your behalf. Neither option is better for everyone. The right fit depends on your personal financial situation. So where do you start? Do you start talking to a lender or to a realtor? You can start with either. You can contact a lender first or a realtor. What matters is whoever you start with, make sure that they're educating and guiding you on the next step so you are prepared to get throughout this process as smoothly as possible. Another next important role in this process is the appraiser. And we want to break down what this appraiser do and what they cover. Now, when it comes to appraisal, a lot of people get confused between what an appraisal is and a home inspection is. They are not the same. An appraisal is required for most financing purchases, such as an FHA, VA, USDA, and conventional loans. The appraiser is a third-party professional hired through the lender, and their main job is to answer, is this home worth what the property is trying to be purchased for from the buyer? But here's the important part. For government-backed loans, back-owned loans like FHA, VA, and USDA, the appraiser can also include basic safety and condition requirements. So while an appraiser is not doing a top-to-bottom inspection like a home inspector, they can flag certain items that don't meet lenders' minimum property standards. For example, of things an appraiser might call out may include that shows as a subject to item on an appraisal report is safety hazards, peeling paint, especially on older homes, missing handrails, broken windows, roof concerns, electrical or plumbing issues, water damage or active leaks, anything that can affect the health and the safety or the property ability to function as a home. Even with conventional loans, lenders can still require certain repairs. So if something is clearly unsafe or a major risk, it can still show up as a subject to item on appraisal. So think of it like this. When the appraisal is primarily about value with a basic condition check, especially on government loans, but it is not an in-depth inspection like a home inspector would do for you. Also, if you're an individual and you're purchasing a home cash, an appraisal isn't required, but you can still opt in and have an appraisal done just for extra security and confidence to make sure that you're not overpaying for a property that you're interested in. The next important role is a home inspector. Let's dig into what a home inspector does. A home inspection is for you. As the buyer, it is designed to give you information about the home conditions so you can make a smart decision. And here's a key point that many buyers don't realize. This inspection report, once you get it back, is not required to be seen by the lender. The lender don't ask for the home inspection. It's, again, simply for you so you can understand what's going on with the property, and you can use this as a negotiation whenever you're sending over a repair procedure on what it is you want the seller to address. A home inspection typically covers things like the roof, the attic, the structure, basic HVAC, plumbing and electrical, foundations, signs of moisture concerns and general conditions, and so much more. Most inspectors will do a general HVAC inspection, but they're not HVAC technicians, which is why sometimes we recommend specialty or secondary inspections for a more in-depth evaluation. Examples of specialty or secondary inspections include, again, an HVAC inspection, roof inspection, structural engineer, mold test, radon test, a septic test, a lead test, a well, and also a survey. Another important inspector is a termite inspector where we would get a CO 100. In South Carolina, termite inspections are very crucial. CO 100 inspection checks for active termites, previous damage of termites, and moisture issues. This is often required by lenders and protects your investment on certain loan types. Another secondary inspection we did talk about was a survey, and a certain time a survey can come up as being something that is required, checking your boundary lines, especially if an attorney see that there was never a survey that was done. They may require that a survey be done prior to closing. Another important role I just called was the closing attorney. South Carolina is an attorney closing state. Closings are handled by a real estate attorney. The attorney performs a title search, clears title issues, prepares closing documents, handles funds, and records the deed. This protects both the buyer and the seller. So let's talk about people wearing multiple hats, because you may encounter professionals who, a realtor who's a lender, a realtor that's also an appraiser, and a realtor that is an investor as well. Just know this isn't automatically a problem, but transparency matters. You should always understand which role someone is acting in, who they represent, and where the conflict exists, okay? Just always make sure that you're getting transparency. So my role throughout the process. So you understand, I want to be very clear that I'm solely a real estate agent, also called a sales associate. When you work with me, you're not only working with me, you're also working with my entire brokerage, LPT Realty. Behind the scenes, you will have brokerage support, you will have compliance oversight, you will have my transaction coordination team, you will have legal guidance and system in place to protect you. So whenever you work with me, you don't only get me, you get a whole slew of people. And you also, with my role, I'm here to educate you, to advocate for you, coordinate the process, communicate clearly, solve problems, and guide you from consultation to closing. I do not replace a lender, an inspector, appraiser, an attorney. I bring the entire process together. So I hope you guys really took all this information in. So if you're thinking about buying or selling in South Carolina, especially in the PD region and the surrounding areas, I would love to help you. Remember, you are an active participant in this process, not just a spectator. Reach out to schedule your consultation, and we'll build a plan that makes sense for you. Save this episode, follow along, because understanding the roles make the entire process smoother. Always remember, trust the process, and stay tuned to episode 3.